If you're wondering how you can win this bike, check out the link in the description box.
What's up, guys? We're busting out the BUSA 2000, I don't know, 4 or 5. 2000 something. Suzuki Hayabusa GSX 1300R. Stretched, rocks, probably a power commander somewhere in here. Haven't actually looked. And these Srkcycles are toast. This is not the bike you want to be riding in the rain. I mean, these aren't even legit rainlets. So, you know what I mean? There's not even, like, rain's not going to get out of there. So, and this is pretty much bald. I did a little burnout before he sold it. Pretty sure. Let's take it for a spin, guys. I love these bikes. It's so, it's a very comfortable bike. It's cool to be on a big, fast bike like this, but feel so stretched out. What's interesting about the other sport bikes, you know, the 600s and 1000s, they're all, the 1000s are not bigger in frame. It's just bigger. It's a bigger bike. It's just a bigger motor. It's not, the bike's not actually bigger. Yeah, this bike's modified. So, right there is why you need to know what you're doing before you ride a bike like this. I was only at like 3,500 RPMs, maybe 4,000 RPMs, when I cracked the throttle a little bit, and that back end just got loose. First of all, that's awesome. Very impressive bike. Maybe second gear at that point. Alright, so a couple things are going on. One, my tires are cold. It's the 60s outside, so it's a little cold outside. Two, these tires are pretty close to bald, and it's kind of moist outside. So a bike like this is pretty dangerous, I'm not gonna lie. If you're not used to having that bike, that back end slip out from underneath you, this could be extremely scary. I don't mind it. As a matter of fact, I prefer it. I'm all about that back end getting loose. I was gonna jump on the highway, but just to get it up to speed, but I'm not gonna get any traction. So why a Hayabusa? Why a Hayabusa? I've heard people say this before and it drives me nuts. But they're like, yo, I learned how to ride on a Hayabusa. That's cool. Did you learn how to drive stick shift on a Ferrari? You know, did you learn how to drive stick shift on like a 500 horsepower Cobra? You know, the kind of, it's just not ideal, it's dumb. You may have done it, that's fine, but it's just not ideal. Start on something that's ideal. Start on something that gives someone the best opportunity to survive. Learning how to ride on a BUSA does not do that. It is a dangerous bike. This, right out the box, a stock Hayabusa, if you know what you're doing, you could be running 9s, easily running 9 seconds in the quarter mile. That's a fast bike. The Hayabusa versus the other leader bikes, the Hayabusa really doesn't start to break away from the pack until you hit those high, you know, 160, 170, 180, 190, you know, those high speeds. That's when the Hayabusa really starts to light it up. I've been on slightly modified BUSAs. know, with other guys on slightly modified R1s, and it was like neck and neck. But until you get to those ridiculously high speeds, that's when the BUSA really starts pulling through. It's also just a bigger bike. A lot of the big guys, you'll see them rocking the BUSAs just because they just don't fit. They don't fit on the smaller bikes. And I feel real spaced out on this. I mean, this feels pretty comfortable to have this much space on this bike. Real nice to be laying down on the tank and just crushing the racetrack. The only place you can legally, I'm pretty sure you can't legally top out first gear on this bike. Not in Pennsylvania. Not in Pennsylvania. Maybe like Georgia. But that's on the highway. Just because first gear is these gears are so tall. Interesting about the Hayabusa, when it came out, someone's going to correct me on this one, but I think it came out in 99, either late 90s, early 2000s. Up until 2007, it was the exact same bike. Now people say that the first year Hayabusa, it did not have a governor. I think the governor's at like 195 or something goofy like that. I'm not sure if that's true. I've never been up to those speeds on one of those bikes, but it's the same bike. It's 2007 Hayabusa is carbureted, just like the 2001. If it's tuned properly, you have no problem. Put the choke on, fire it up. A couple seconds later, take the choke off, and you're good. It wasn't until, I mean, there's only ever been two gens of Hayabusa. There's only ever been two generations of Hayabusa. Oh, you know what? Is there a third one? I don't know. There might be a new gen of Hayabusa. I don't know. I don't really keep up with the brand new stuff very much. And I don't really know about it until I own one. But so these bikes are super cool. I love riding them. Okay, so this one's stretched out. I've talked to a couple, I've bought some bikes from a couple like drag race guys, and most of them said the same thing. They're like, they prefer the stretch that involves the blocks. So using factory swing arm. So you're using factory swing arm, and you're using blocks to extend the back wheel out. They say in the drag racing, it's the most stable compared to a fully remanufactured swing arm. It makes sense. Suzuki spent a lot of money designing that swing arm to be stable. It's a big, heavy, stable piece of equipment, and you got some guy with a pipe bender or whatever he's using making a stretched one. I've ridden a bunch of the bikes with the blocks. It always feels stable to me. The biggest difference, this isn't, I mean, yeah, the handling is worse, but kind of rule of thumb, it doesn't kill it that much by putting by the stretch. I mean, it does hurt it, but it's not like undrivable. What really kills the handling is those giant back tires. You do those two things, stretch and giant back tires, and it's hard to turn. But this isn't bad, but you're probably not going to be dragging any knee on any corner. So the biggest difference with a stretched out bike I'm gonna go I got it. You're good. You're good. I got you. The biggest difference with a stretched out bike, it's gonna go, yeah, is it's gonna be hard to get that front end up. Now, if I could actually, these tires were a little bit better, it was a little bit warmer outside, normally what would happen is I would let it loose, it would do a little burnout, it would heat those tires up, and the next time I tried, within the next minute, it would lock up, and that front end might be able to come up. But the BUSA is a little heavier bike. All right, guys, this bike is awesome. It's got crazy low miles, 3,100 miles. Insane. It's a beautiful. Check the walk around video. This bike is for sale, and it is going to go quick. I think we listed it at like less than $6,000, which sounds kind of crazy, but it's going to get going real fast. Guys, remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going. We'll see you guys later.
Coming in hot. Woo! You guys like what you see? And you want to see more Srkcycles content, click over here.
If you guys want to see stuff from the new Bikes and Beards channel, click right here. If you guys want to see a chance to win a motorcycle, click down here.